everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley Dawn. I am a Reiki Master, Medium, Lightworker, author, and just basically all things that I can think of to help you along your healing journey. So today, what I'd like to share with you is a channeled message. However, I'm going to do it in a little bit of a different way. I usually sit and meditate and write all of my information down, but my guides have really been pushing me to do a channel message, which I haven't done in quite a while, but they wanted me to do it more in like a real, almost like live scenario instead of me handwriting it all down firsthand. Okay. So I only really wrote down a couple of bullet points that I knew that they kind of wanted to discuss, but they were like, we're not going to dive into them until you're on camera. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm a little nervous, but you know what? I'm going to trust the process. This is kind of what they wanted. And the way that they explained it to me was that they really wanted others to be able to see, like, there's no smoke and mirrors. There's no like kind of, it's just really genuine and heartfelt, and it's very simple because it seems, I think, to some people that this could be something difficult or maybe that they couldn't do on their own or challenging or weird. I don't know. But they were like, you need to show people, like show them how easy this is, how they can connect to their higher self, their guides, and talk to their light team. So for those of you that do not know, I channel messages from my team of light, and they're a variety of a couple of different light body beings. I love working with angels and archangels. I have two main guides that I've had since I was a child. One of my more recent guides that I wrote a book about called Awaken Conversations. His name is Jay. He helps me with mediumship. And I have met some amazing guides recently in the last couple months that are really fantastic, mind-blowing, and really taking me to a whole nother level that actually helped me connect with the Galactic Alliance. And there's going to be more messages coming about that. So basically, that's why I call them my team of light. They are beautiful light body beings who help me do all of the things that I do, but also deliver, messages and encouragement to you. So without further ado, I'm just going to get to it. All right. So what I usually do is I will sit quietly for just a second. This is also how I do mediumship. So if you ever have a mediumship session with me at a distance over the phone or even in person, this is exactly what it looks like. Okay, so I kind of quiet my mind really quick and I just ask them what they want me to share and say. Okay, so they said, starting off, they're like, we are so, and I wish you guys could feel, because again, I see images and I feel emotion and then have to interpret them into like sad little human language words, which doesn't do any of it justice. So I'm going to try to convey the feeling. They literally were like, we are so excited that you're here. And they made my heart just feel like flushed with like love and gratitude and appreciation. And they're like, we are thrilled that you're hearing this message today. And they're telling me that no matter when you hear this message, it'll be when your higher self needs to hear it. And this will help you connect dots. This will help you further understand. And this will help you grow as you're listening to this message. And they're saying, we know how incredibly challenging that this time has been for everyone. There's a lot of shifting and changing, and that creates a lot of uncomfortableness and chaos. And they know that it's been very, very difficult. So they're also saying, but we are so incredibly humbled and in awe and proud of how far you've come. And they're showing me, look at where you are now and go back 6 months, a year. They're like, you have worked so hard at this. So this is for everybody. This is a message for everybody. They're like, you have healed, you have grown, you have changed jobs, relationships, dieting, exercise, you name it. They're like, you have done it, or you're starting to, or whatever. But they're like, we are so, so, so proud of you. You are a part of the shift and collective changing. And they're like, every little effort you do to be kind and loving to yourself filters out, that energy filters out and supports people around you. And you don't even have to talk about it. Just by you being that beautiful, loving light, it just oozes off of you. And they're like, it's almost contagious. And they're like, they are so, so, so proud of everybody. Okay, so they wanted me to talk about like the next couple weeks, okay, or maybe even months. The rest of this month into the next. Okay, so they said they want to talk about two things. One is weather and one's politics, and I hate that topic. So this will be fun. We'll start with weather. Okay, so so they're reminding me that they gave me information 3 years ago, which again I wrote in a book called Awaken Conversations about this very moment and how to prepare. And what they're saying is there's going to be erratic weather patterns. You're going to see highs, record-breaking highs, record-breaking lows, and close time together. So it's going to go from high to low very quickly. So that's what they mean by erratic. And they're showing me groups of 3s and 5s. And what they're saying is that we're actually seeing multiple hurricanes, multiple fires, multiple earthquakes in different areas and parts of the world. But the reason why is because as the veil is lifting and the lines between realms, parallel universes, they're kind of softening. We're seeing major big events in multiples because we're experiencing our own hurricane plus someone else's, then the parallel universe next to ours, and so on. And so they're saying you're going to see multiple weather patterns because as we shift and change, so does the earth. That means everything does, right? So they're like, and I did talk about this in that book, and that's why they referred to it. So yes, they said 5 hurricanes, 3 different volcano locations with activity, maybe not an explosion, but activity that hasn't been there before. Flooding, mudslides, things, but like maybe, in 3 or 4 different places in a very small window of time, like 2 or 3 days or a week long, you're going to have like multiples, right? And this makes sense to me because we can already see that like right now, the west coast of the United States, like most of it's on fire. And they're also telling me something with volcanic super activity. And again, I don't see an explosion, but they're saying like activity. So I don't know if there's a couple of volcanoes or a super one that is active and then that energy is spreading out to others. I'm not really sure how that works. Maybe you guys know. You can comment below if you know something. But that's what they're talking about. Okay, and so really quickly, they were like, okay, you need to say this right now. They're saying, do not be afraid. This isn't a video about fear. They're like, don't go there, because I felt like they felt viewers were starting to be like, oh my God. They're like, no. This is all about shifting and growth and change, and you cannot grow without change. This is change. They're talking about the poles changing. They're talking about magnetic and electromagnetic fields. And they're even talking to me about like energy grids. Maybe this has to do with the pole shifting. Again, I don't really know how this works. I'm not a scientist, but they're showing me like as the poles shift, it will literally change the horizontal and vertical lines that are on a globe. What are those called? Not ley lines, but I guess, but like it'll change the magnetic energy that's around like the actual Earth. Not just the poles, but it'll change everything. And so they're saying all of these things are changing. So it's not necessarily bad. Of course, bad weather is bad, but like it's not necessarily bad. This is growth. They're like, this is growth in action. This is how an Earth and planet grows. It's just how it works. Okay. So now they want me to talk about politics. Okay, so I have to remove my personal feelings aside, which is ironic because I don't necessarily have feelings, my personal feelings. If you are standing on the left or standing on the right, then you're not moving forward. And I'm all about growth and moving forward, right? And so how I've always viewed political situations is a lot of deception. And so I have to remove my personal thoughts and feelings so that I can get a very clear message. Okay, so just give me 1 second. Okay, so they're saying that this too is growing and shifting, and there's going to be a lot of shifting and changing, which we all know, right? The United States is having presidential elections and things like that coming up. And so they're like, yeah, things are going to be shifting and changing. And okay, this is, ooh, my ear is ringing really loud all of a sudden. Okay, so this is really important. They're saying, do not fixate on who. It is not about who or whom. It is the collective that is more valuable right now. So what they kind of showed me is, the greater your numbers, the more you dictate the outcome. So what they're saying is, it doesn't matter who stands as your leader. They use the term leader a lot to describe our political people and stuff like that. Okay. So they're saying it doesn't matter who. They're like, do not fixate on who, because the universe, your guides, and the collective is shifting. And although we as human beings, we have free will, choices. So if we don't like something going on as a collective, this is the power in numbers. As we all shift together and we unite and become one, this sense of unity steps in and is greater than the one person or the few people at the top pulling all the strings. So they were like, do not get confused at who has free will choice here. They're like, do not get confused and distracted by who's in charge. Okay, because they're like, you're in charge. Nobody else is in charge. And as long as enough people are on the same page wanting the same things, like a collective human response, there is no stopping that. They're also talking about distractions, okay? And they use the term distractions in this way to mean that, like the smoke and mirror effect, okay? So they're saying, do not be distracted. Okay, let me explain this. They said that the people at the top that pull the strings, they're telling me that they know that humans are slaves to their emotion. It's very interesting wording they use sometimes. So they said humans are slaves to their emotions. And because they know this, they will deliberately use emotional situations to trigger emotional responses. And when you are in a state of heightened emotion or fight or flight, you are easily controlled and manipulated. Which I don't know how much more true that can be. I should just stop the video now, right? Because, I mean, look at where we're at. People are just over emotionally heightened and easily triggered by anything, even just a word. I can say one word and it could trigger people, right? And so what they're saying is recognize when that is happening. Recognize when they're using distractions for manipulation. And if you're confused, ask yourself this. When you see statistics, when you hear a comment, when you see somebody speak, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Again, they're still focused on politics here. Ask yourself, does that comment, statistic, person, doesn't matter, whatever the situation, does it come from a place of love, compassion, and unity? Or does it come from a place of fear and deception, ego, and division? So they're like, that's all the information you need. That's all the information you need. They're like, go within. You can ask yourself that question with every single person that runs for office, every single comment, statistic, it doesn't matter. They're like, you just ask yourself one question. Does this situation come from a place of love and compassion and unity, or fear, ego, and division? Okay. Whew, okay, good. That's all they wanted to say about politics. Thank goodness. Okay. All right. So, oh, no, one more thing. They did say that if you notice that you are easily triggered by and you are emotionally responding to a situation. Somebody's like, I'm voting for this person. And you're like, how dare you? You know, if you get emotionally triggered, right? They're saying you need to stop, be still, and ask yourself the same question. Did I respond emotionally? Yeah. Did I respond from a place of love, compassion, and unity? Or did I respond from a place of fear, ego, and division? So they're saying it goes for what you're seeing, but it also goes within too. You have to ask yourself the same questions. Okay. Whew. Okay, let me ask them if there's anything else, because those are the things that they had bulleted for me as far as topics go. So let me ask if there's any last little messages. Okay. Ooh, okay, so they're telling me that a lot of people are grieving. A lot of people are grieving right now. The loss of an actual person, the loss of their job, the loss of security, the loss of finances, a lot of loss and grief and kind of like sadness. And even if it's a good thing, they're telling me, even if, like, let's say it was a relationship that was toxic and you needed to let that person go, that friend or somebody go, there's still sadness. There's still loss, right? And so what they want to say is that, one, and they've told me this before, everything needs water to grow. Feel your feelings. Cry if you want to cry, right? Everything needs water to go. Cry if you need to cry. And it's okay if you are grieving and you are sad because you did lose someone. It's okay to feel joy and to be happy and to laugh with your friends and to forget for a moment, while you're at work and you're busy. They're like, that's okay. You don't need to feel guilty about that either. So, okay, so yeah, they're telling me there's this like humbleness of loss over things, people, monetary things, okay? So they're telling me that we all need to take a moment to appreciate what it is that we have, who it is that we are, and focus on the direction in which we want to go, who we want to become. And they're like, and you can then let go of some of that sadness because the direction we're going in is beautiful and who you are is beautiful. And that's the first step towards healing. They're like recognizing that you're going through a situation, but that it is temporary and that you are this beautiful light body being and you're heading in this direction, right? To not get stuck or stagnant and over-identify in that situation. Over-identify as the victim, over-identify as the one who lost, right? They're like, don't do that. Focus on going forward, right? So deal with the emotions, feel all the feelings, but focus on going forward. Okay. All right, so I hope you guys liked that. This was very different. I haven't done it this way before, but they kind of told me they wanted me to show how I do this. And so instead of meditating and writing it all down beforehand, they just asked me to do it in front of the camera. So I am super, super excited that I got to share this with you guys. I'm also very thrilled because I hit a little milestone on my YouTube channel. So that means that I can eventually now go live, like legit live on YouTube. So I'm definitely planning on doing some channel messages that way as well, like literally live, which sounds slightly terrifying, but I will do it. I just have to figure out how I'm going to do that and all like the logistics of that because I've never done it before. So I have to do a little bit of research and figure out how. But I really, really hope you guys loved it. If you did, please like and subscribe. I absolutely love your support, and it is my total passion and intention to help people along their healing journey. So the more people I know that I reach, it just gives me that sense of satisfaction and fulfillment that I know that I am completing my life purpose. And I wouldn't be able to do that without you. So much love and gratitude. And always from the guides and myself, love and light, my friends.